Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of Setting the Atmosphere, the podcast. I'm your girl, Takira, Unicorn Hippie TK, whatever you call me, Sangoma. Today is the 26th. So the frequency and numerology of today is 8. So I could automatically be connected to someone that is a Leo, born in August. Life path number 8, rocking with the frequency of the 8, which represents cycles. It represents loopholes, figure eights, vicious cycles, hydro cycles. So that's the frequency of today's date. This episode is going to be about the rise of the feminine right now, because us women folk are going through such a huge shift, and it's been so such a roller coaster, because I feel like a lot of us thought, with the closing of 2025, the closing of the year of the snake, the shedding, and embracing the year of the horse, that we thought shit was gonna be sweet, and it really didn't play out that way. At least that's been my experience, and a lot of other people that I read for, people that are my clients, my relatives, my friends, my tribe, have been going through the same thing, where it's like, we thought all of these things were going to be happening, and not necessarily rebirth things, because I very much hit on the topic that this isn't the Earth's new year, according to nature. This is when we're supposed to be hibernating, going within, because we're in the winter. Hibernating, going within, a lot of shadow work, a lot of reflective moments, a lot of reflection as a whole, emotionally, just going within, going deep. So we knew that, I celebrate the new year in March during the spring equinox, where I'm celebrating rebirth. So that's not what I'm saying. I definitely wasn't under the impression that I would be getting my ass handed to me right now, by spirit, by source energy, and just being shown so many different layers of things. And I definitely am not trying to be biased, but it is coming through the woman. It's coming through the feminine energy, right? And that can also affect men too, because it's like, in this moment, for my men folk, you could be experiencing the same thing, but you could also be in a space of trying to suppress that, because you're like, why the fuck am I so emotional? Why am I irritable? Why am I thinking about this? Why is this breakup coming up? Why am I remembering things about this? And just different dynamics of who you want to be as a man too is coming up, because like I said, in this moment, in this specific time of the year, and what I've been shown is that this is the rise of the feminine. This is the rise of the woman. This is the rise of feminine energy, dark feminine energy too, meaning we are setting boundaries like never before. We're in this in-between space of like being here, but also choosing ourselves in this chaotic world, because y'all are on social media just like I'm on social media. I don't watch the news. I have not watched the news in years, maybe an actual decade, but I still see, I know what's going on in the world. I know about the genocides. I know about the wars. I know about the human trafficking. I know about what's going on in politics and our government and judicial systems. I'm aware of all that. I don't consume myself with any of that propaganda, but I know what's happening, because I can feel it on an energetic level. And right now, the feminine, right now, the women, we are at the forefront and at the front line, like we've been throughout history. But now we're very unapologetic about how we're showing up in that sacred rage, in that feminine energy of protection and nurturing and intuition, and just like I said, choosing yourself in this chaotic space that we're in, where we're still figuring out who we are. We still have to parent our children. We're still showing up on our jobs and showing up for our friends and different things like that. But what's different is we're choosing ourselves this time. We're not trying to do these selfless acts and show our devotion and dedication to anything but us And that's completely normal right now. That is completely fine. Like, we should be doing that more, because it's like that's what builds our strength, and that's what builds our personal power. When we really consider ourselves, we consider our feelings, we consider our emotion and how certain things make us feel, what triggers us. Like, we're paying attention to our body right now. We're in the month of January, and January kicked off with a full moon called the Wolf Moon, January 3rd. And that moon was so big, that moon was so powerful, that moon was so telling. That moon was definitely speaking about pacts that you have with yourself, pacts that you run in, groups that you're a part of. It also spoke to a lot of friendships and partnerships coming to an end. When we talk about the wolf moon, they named it that because that was a time of the year where you would hear a lot of wolves and a lot of packs howling at the moon, and where there was a lot of hunting going on. And if you look into the spirit totem and the characteristics of a wolf, they have a very keen sensibility to everything. Don't nothing slip through when it comes to a wolf. Their eyesight is heightened. How they hear is heightened, like sound frequency. And then again, you know, that howling at the moon, that paying respect to light in the midst of darkness, in the midst of chaos, and also paying attention to the wolves in sheep clothing, those people, those places or things that may be around you that seemed too good to be true, and it was, you know, they end up not being for you. They end up being faux or faulty, or just not, you know, a person that adds fuel to your fire or adds stability to your groundedness that you might have had to get rid of at the beginning parts of January. Again, which shook our world up, because we thinking, you know, earth people like, oh, new year, new me, I'm starting out fresh. I didn't think that, but you know, the frequency of the earth thought that, you know, and I feel like a lot of people wasn't ready for what was coming, which was more surprises. The veil was very thin. We're finding out shit that we didn't think we could find out. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I got this blue candle right here for the healing of the emotional trauma, the emotions, the feelings, the inside hurt, the heartbreaks, the physical healing in the body. There has been a lot of people that have transitioned this month that is from my community that I've seen on a global level. There's just been a lot of death, you know what I'm saying? So that's what the wolf moon represented. It represented also a lot of silence and listening and being still, because when you think about, you know, on a primal level, when wolves hunt and how sneaky and cunning and crafty they have to be to catch their prey, you know, you can embody some of those characteristics, or some of those things could have shown up for you as well. So now then we had the new moon, January 18th, and I was actually in Georgia during the new moon. Now, we all know your girl gets very ritualistic, and I got a ritual for everything, especially the moons, because I work so closely with the moons, because that works so closely with my feminine energy. But my friend, my longtime friend of 24 years, invited me and my sister and my kids to a vision board party. And at first I was like, I'm not going to be able to go, you know, different things coming up, finances and just life, you know, and I'm just like, you know, I'm not going to be able to go. But I made it freaking happen. We made it freaking happen. We took a girls trip, our first girls trip, with me, my sister, and my two daughters. And we went to Georgia, and it snowed. Okay, so that was like a ritual within itself. I didn't try to overplan. I didn't try to bring a lot of magic with me. I didn't try to like overdo it and overthink, you know, me being away from home around all of my stuff, and me being out of town. But it ended up being super amazing, the experience, my children being able to see snow for the first time, and just me connecting back to my childhood with my sister, as well as my really good friend. and just being able to relax and just embrace all of that different nature. I definitely felt like a winter witch, girl. Like, it was such a good time. It was such a good time. I cannot wait to go back. But that's how I spent my new moon. I spent it away in Georgia in the cold. It was cold as fuck, and it snowed, and I got to be whimsical and just, you know, inviting new energy. That's what our new moons represent: new energy, new placement, new interests, new goals, new people. Just embracing that rebirth and also healing my childhood at the same time was such a good experience. So the two moons that we experienced in January, I definitely had a time. You know, during the wolf moon, I definitely, you know, was in full ritual at home, you know, bringing in the month and the beginning of January with that wolf moon energy, and still also shedding, you know, what happened in 2025, and just always practicing releasing and practicing shedding anyway. So yeah, so this month I feel like I was saying, that women are shifting. I feel like, you know, we are identifying the systems globally that don't support us, and we're speaking up about it. We're on social media with it. We are talking to our friends about it. We can feel it in our bones that just, you know, things aren't right, things aren't fair. We're also not romanticizing struggle or survival mode. You know, a lot of us have gotten out of relationships that aren't serving us, even friendships. But a lot of us are going through breakups with romantic partnership. I'm saying us, but I've been single for 5 years. But I'm a part of us. I'm a part of collective. So it's like a lot of women are saying, you know what, I choose myself. And it doesn't have to be ugly. It doesn't have to be confrontational. It doesn't have to be any of that. But there has been a lot of talk and buzz on social media about how women are choosing to be single. That's because we got things to do here on earth that puts us at advantage and not disadvantage by, you know, watering ourselves down or putting ourselves in a box or becoming digestible for other people. We are now rising in our feminine power. We're now setting better boundaries. We are now, you know, dating with intention. Even if that intention is just to hook up, at least we're having clear-cut boundaries about that, and we're not going in and thinking like, oh, this person's gonna be my long-term partner, or, you know, all of those blinders that we like to ignore in the beginning of a situationship or the talking stages. We're just like, what you want? Because that's been my experience, and most men don't like that. They can't handle that, because it's like, in the beginnings, it's like, I'm like, what are your intentions? And they're like, well, you know, I'm going with the flow. And like, all of that is fine, but all of that is also bullshit. It's like, you know, from the moment you meet somebody, you engage with somebody, you have a conversation with somebody, what the initial intention is. And that's what I want to know. I don't know how it could evolve and what it could grow into, because I'm a flow type of person as well. But it's like, what are we doing here? I definitely need to know that. And if you don't have an answer, like you don't know what you want to do with me, I don't do stagnant energy. So it's like, until you figure out exactly what you want from me, that could be, you know, sexual intimacy or friendship, or you wanted to connect, or you want to network, or you just want to find out what I got going on, that's fine. But just let me know what we're doing. Like, I love clarity. I don't like to be left in the dark about anything. And sometimes when you ask men up front, it's like, what you mean? Or slow down. It's like, speed ain't got nothing to do with intention to me. So it's like, dating has been so funny, but it's also evolving as well, because it's like, I'm seeing certain different attributes of dating. Especially, I'm like this, the world's like that, and I feel like a lot of men are getting very frustrated with us women, especially the intuitive ones, the empaths, the healers, the root workers. They can't really run game on us, and that's frustrating them, because I've got a lot of defensiveness from men lately, and you know, I'm cool on that. I don't want to date. I don't date. because I'm going to remain myself, and I'm going to continue to choose myself, and I'm not forcing anything to work. I'm not watering myself down. I'm not condensing myself. I'm not going to change. You know, men like to make little remarks about how I present myself and how I show up in the world and what I do. And it's like, bro, that's just what I'm doing. If you seem like you oppositional or coming up against exactly what I'm doing right now, because I'm being soul driven, I'm being spirit led, I'm being purpose driven, and you can't stay, period. As a friend, ain't no network, like there's nothing we need to do, because you're trying to get me to alter different perspectives of myself just so you could tolerate me. And I want to be absolutely intolerable. Please know that. Like, I'm never doing that again for another relationship ever. Like, you gotta come ready made to be able to let me be me. And that's wild. I'm a untamed woman, and that has nothing to do with promiscuity. That has nothing to do with sex or anything like that. It's just that I'm a free woman. I practice freedom every day. Being a wild woman, being an untamed woman, meaning needing no permission. And that's how I live my life. That has been the ideology that has saved me from just being a part of a system, being a part of relationships and or marriage, or even partnerships with work or working with people or friends. Like, babe, I'm not asking for no permission to be me. I get that there's permission that needs to be granted for other things, and especially having access to people. But please know, when it comes to Kira, I'm not asking. Am I allowed to be like this? Is this too much for you? Is this okay for you? Never again am I doing that. So it's like, if you're not a masculine energy or a man or a friend, a colleague, co-worker, networking partner, soul tribe partner that allows me to be a wild woman, that allows me to flow in my divinity, that allows me to flow in nature, that allows me to flow in my sensuality. If you become oppositional with that one time, babe, it was so nice meeting you. It was so nice meeting you, because we're not doing it. A lot of us women in this time is coming to abrupt stops where we're just not feeling shit no more. We're just like, you know what, I'm done with this. So don't think it's strange if you are having these experiences. Also, for my spiritual girlies that are in tune with their spirituality and divinity, a lot of the goddesses that show up right now is Kalima, Lilith, Hecate, Medusa, Persephone, Oya, Oshun right now. The dark feminine is just rising. The mothers of the earth, Gaia, are just coming up to support us right now as we help heal the earth, because there's a lot of chaos going on and we need to set better boundaries. There needs to be a space where we can operate freely within our divinity and our intuition to help guide us back to what is true and what is nature. Because right now the most inhumane things are happening in the world, the most violent things are happening in the world, and our country needs a huge healing, and that's only going to happen when us women folk become in tune with our womb and come in tune with our true nature and our true spirit, to nurture us back to stability, to nurture the things around us, to start teaching and molding our kids how to survive these systematic spaces that are meant to oppress us and silence us and ultimately end us as a woman, as a people. Also, what you could be feeling is a lot of exhaustion and some sleepless nights, okay? January has not been good when it comes to sleeping. I have been awake for days. I feel like I have been so tired and just up, with this whole thought process and just going along with different things and just trying to figure out, what is this energy that I'm feeling? What is this that I'm experiencing that has me up, that has me anxious, that has me feeling anger and uncertainty? So it's like I'm doing everything that I can to eradicate that, to ground, to really sit still and be still and listen. And we're also coming into a space where we're not over explaining ourselves. Like, I just be exiting stage left, honestly. I'd be like, you know what? If I'm a wild woman, if I'm untamed, why the fuck do I need to over-explain? And I found myself in some situations over-explaining, and then I'm like, no. I don't even know you like that to be explaining nothing to you. And not because you're not a human being, and I just feel like I don't. I feel like people now know it's just what the fuck they be doing, especially if they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah. No, I'm not explaining nothing. We don't need to talk no more about this. I cut conversations real short. I block people. Like, I'm not even playing those games. Over explaining myself for what? I just told you I haven't been in a relationship in like 5+ years at this point. Explaining it to who? I have one parent left. Like, no, don't nothing. I can't allow nothing to move me in that way again. I'm not with that. We're in the midst of Aquarius season, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about Aquarians. I know so many Aquarians. I can't talk about it enough. Like, when I say those Aquarians, Aquarians and Pisceans, but we'll get there in Pisces season. But Aquarians, the men, babe, stay safe. Play it safe, because they are some interesting beings. I love Aqua. I love that air sign. It makes sense that we're in the sign of Aquarius, because Aquarians have a innate response to be like, I ain't going for it. What you said it was about, and what this mean, and how does that work over here? Yeah, we're not doing that. I'll pass. That's the energy of Aquarius. Like, you can't bully them into doing shit. You can't manipulate them as easy. Like, they're just not going for it. They're literally their own people, okay? Their characteristics are, you gotta love them, but I stay away from them in the area of dating, because it has not worked out for me. That is my personal experience. I'm not coming up against Aquarians at all. It's just that I've had my fair share, and I don't want no more. So that's everything that's been going on, this month. If you've been, feeling like things are out of whack, or if you've been just very hard on yourself because you're like, oh, none of the goals and things that I set for myself for January are panning out. We're also having to learn a lot of patience during this time, because we thought things were going to be ready-made to go on the other end of January, and it's just not that. We should have, definitely been taking advantage of the cooler weather and staying home and making warm meals and having baths and drinking tea and coffee and just relaxing, because, we have February to go, and then March is spring equinox. So it's like, that's when our rebirth is coming. That's when the sun is going to be shining, and the temperature will be a lot warmer, to where we can really experience the manifesto of rebirth, of when the earth is new, when the grass is green, when the flowers are blooming, when things are coming into fruition. What should have been, the back end of November up until, when we come into our spring equinox is where we're really supposed to be digging into our shadow work. And that's what some of us are in. We're in a forced shadow period, because we were trying to be too busy. So life is kind of slamming us on our ass and making us sit down and deal with those things that we were trying to speed up. Another thing for us women is that we're choosing peace over performance. That's in our workspaces. That's in our parenting. That's showing up in different aspects of how the world see us. I feel as women collectively, we wear a lot of hats, and we are choosing peace over trying to put on so many hats. Like, we're going home and going to bed. No plans. No putting that shit on. No going out. Like, we just want to stay home and just be exhausted because we can. Like, we don't want to overproduce or overperform, or just, only have productivity to show for it, and not really taking the time to feel the things that we need to feel this month. We're kind of just letting things that are starting to burn out. We're not even trying to put out no more fires. Like, we're not. We are in the space of helping self right now, okay? Y'all like my little Marley cup? That's what he got his auntie for Christmas. So cute. So yeah, that's what's going on. That's the energy that we're in. I hope everyone is surviving this energy and not letting it get the best of them. Like, you're not doomed. Like, you're not having a mental breakdown. You're not depressed. It's not seasonal depression. Like, stop word cursing yourself with these different ailments and sicknesses and mental instabilities. Like, you're just going through shift. You know what I'm saying? Like, the world is hibernating right now. There's war, there's violence, there's all kind of things going on, and we're starting to feel it. Our sensitivity is like, we can feel everything right now. Like, the veil is very, very thin, so you're not going crazy. We're going to pull some cards to clarify, and I hope you enjoyed that first part of the segment of the podcast episode with just me explaining the frequency of what's happening, okay? So we just thank you, God, for the information that was provided and channeled. We thank you for this energy and everyone that is on this podcast episode right now. And if you have any messages or clarification for them, let it be shown through the illustration and messages of the card, as well as the numerology. And everyone that agrees, say amen, so be it. Thank you, Source. And I'm sorry if my men folk feel left out of this episode. Please don't. I'm definitely talking to male energies as well, but also just embodying that feminine energy, which doesn't have a sex associated to it, like biology. It doesn't have body parts associated with it, because everybody harnesses the power of male and female energy, masculine and feminine energy. And we all have it. We all have to be balanced. And right now, us girls is just in our bag, and you guys have your own work to do. And I'm not going to try to go into it and dissect all what that looks like, but you guys have work to do. And it's to honestly protect and honor the things that protect and honor you. It's really that simple. A lot of the men are going through some resistance because they don't honor the things around them. A lot of men are still operating in selfishness. A lot of men are still operating with narcissistic behavior. A lot of men aren't showing up in supportive ways that they need to the feminine energies around them. That's your mother, your sister, your children's mom. That's your cousins, like whoever you need to. And you're out of alignment. I don't even care if you don't have a woman in your life or a relationship. You have a mother, you have siblings, you have a grandmother. Like, now is the time to be adorning the women in your life, gifting the women in your life, making our lives easier, bringing us flowers, bringing us breads, you know what I'm saying? Checking up on us. Hey, we ain't spoken in a while, I'm just checking up on you. These are for platonic friendships, not just romantic partnership, but men folk. You're going to have a hard time if you miss this one. I just will say that. Anyways, the first card that we have out here is Cultivate Peace with the number 36. And there are two birds on here. I definitely want to symbolize that these are two lovebirds. There's some butterflies in this, as well as a ladybug. So this is definitely speaking to a romantic partnership where peace definitely needs to be happening, whether you guys are going to stay together or split up. Coming out here with the number 36, you could be 36 years old or born in the month of September, could be a Virgo. But luck is on your side. There's a lot of dual energy when it comes to this, meaning it's not a bad idea to separate. It's not a bad idea to have that last conversation that's going to cultivate peace, that's going to invite in some type of sovereignty where neither one of you have to look bad or look like the problem, but that it'll just be a peaceful, clean slate. Because that's what it's about. Like, every relationship that ends doesn't have to be in some weird combative confrontation, because what's gonna come out of this when you guys separate and go your separate ways and figuring out how to coexist peacefully, luck and favor is going to be on both of your sides. Honestly, like, nobody's going to be doing bad. Nobody should be like wishing karma. Like, it needs to just be some type of peaceful break. That way, this liberation that you're feeling this self-love and compassion that you need to heal yourself with. You can be able to do that because you're gonna be without a partner. And I know for a lot of us women, we desire love, we desire partnership and being with somebody, but that's really hard to do if there's no peace. There's really hard to do if, you know, there's war within the relationship and unresolved conflict and different things like that needs to be healed. If that's not happening, it's just time to cultivate peace. It's time to embody a peaceful break. That way you guys can both thrive in your own energy. And if that, you know, situation comes back about, you'll use your discernment to see if it's something you need to entertain or not. Source, what other messages you got? I got another bird. A lot of us have been seeing a lot of birds, which are messengers of the other realms. Okay, they're the angels, they're our spirit guides, they're our bird totems that are reminding us of the messages, that are reminding us that the angels are near. That's coming out here with the number 40. You could be 40 years old, born in the month of May, or born in the month of April, or Taurus or Aries. But this is talking about retreating, resting, nesting. Okay, and that's what birds do. They're such graceful, peaceful, you know what I'm saying, animals, and they do rest a lot. They flow a lot. They don't try to force anything. That's what this is speaking about with this retreat. This is calling you to pull back, retreat, go within, sit with self, sit with the messages. Don't try to rush a lot of these processes and ideologies that you have along. It's time to really slow down and listen and be still. It's time to put on quiet music, have slow mornings, read a book, strategize, you know, make yourself more knowledgeable in the things that you want to create and expand on. This is also talking about just retreating and learning to know yourself and being your own energy again. Some of us only know us around other people. We don't know us alone, because we haven't spent a lot of time alone. You feel attached to your kids at the hip, or attached to your partner, or attached to your job. You don't know how to say no when they ask you to work and stay over hours and all the things. You need to retreat and see who you are alone, because a lot of us guys don't know what that feels like. And that's how you start to heal yourself, when you get yourself from around everything and everybody. And you kind of listen to how your body responds to situation. Listen to your body when it brings up emotion or trauma that you need to pay attention to, things that you need to be protected from. Like those type of different things only happens through sitting with self, only happens through stillness and allowing the body and God to move through your spirit, to tell you things to come, to prepare you for things to come, to show you exactly what this journey looks like, so you don't have to be on this search and this quest for what your spiritual journey feels like. Your spiritual journey is within you. It's not an outside thing. So through stillness, you'll see just where you need to be navigated to, through just sitting in silence or with music, and just allowing your own energy to kind of introduce itself to you again, if that makes sense. Ooh. So we got number 36 out here and 40. What other messages you got, souls, for the collective during this Aquarius season, post new moon, post wolf moon? Yeah, of course. Higher meditation, be still and connect with your light is what came out here. Look at all that magic, all of that alchemy that happens when you sit still. Some of us need to pick up meditation, or if you do meditation already, like go deeper in meditation. If you need some assistance with that, you know where to find me. I offer one-on-one guided meditations that could be in person or remote. But some of us need to listen to God. We're not listening. Simple as that. You don't listen when you're constantly talking, when you're constantly moving. Some of us need higher meditation, connecting with our light more. connecting with our inner dialogue, connecting with our body. That's going to be through wellness, through eating better, through, getting better sleep, through drinking water. But some of us, a lot of us need higher frequency meditation. Again, I can walk you through how to do that. I'm going to read that card for you. Why don't they have the numbers on here? It probably do. Let me see. Higher meditations coming out here with the number 68. All right. So it said, it is time to expand your awareness to discover more amazingness within. If you've been resisting your connections to your power, know that your true self is nothing to fear. A great and powerful light lies within you, filled with all the wisdom and resources that you need. Give yourself a break, breathe, and connect peacefully to your soul. So you need to find other avenues of meditation, because a lot of you will say, well, I don't know how to meditate. My mind just wanders and all those different things. Like, it's going to happen like that at first. I said a lot of my clients that are just starting out with meditation, set a timer for 3 minutes. Okay, set a timer for 3 minutes. Put on your favorite song and just get through that song in stillness. That song can resonate to your spirit. That song can speak to your soul, the drums, the percussion, the person that's singing it. Whatever you need to connect to, that's how you're going to start it. And then week by week, increase your meditative space, your space of being still, not doing nothing but intentionally grounded. You need to increase it week by week, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Like, you could just, but start off with a timer for 3 minutes and get yourself centered. You can make your meditation intention based, meaning I'm intentionally meditating in hopes to release this, or I just want to feel grounded, or I want to calm my power back, or I need clarity, or I need direction, and just begin to just harness in and meditate on that thing. You might have to move a little bit. You might have to stand up, and you might have to sway. You might have to drink tea. You could do this in the shower. I feel like society and mainstream metaphysics makes us, and yoga practices makes us feel like we just have to sit there, for hours and just be quiet. It doesn't start off quite like that. So I feel like having a realistic view of what your meditation is going to look like, and it's just going to be catered to you. Everybody doesn't meditate the same. When I have a lot of my group meditations, everybody's doing something different. Some people are sitting down, some people are lying down, some people are making noises and groaning. I sway a lot. My sister's doing energy work. Things are happening. But everybody is going through what they need to go through within the body, within their spirit bodies, to release, to regain, to obtain. You know what I'm saying? So everything is going to look different. I feel like we have to not be so stuck on what society's views and pictures and movies and whatever, what social media wants you to think meditation looks like, okay? All right. I'm gonna get one more card. Source, what other messages do you have? What are the last of messages for the collective as we are choosing ourselves in this chaotic world? What do we got going on? What last message do you have for the collective? Love that. This is coming out here with the number 34, which is a reduced to a 7 in numerology. I'm a life past 7, so I love that. And it's coming out here with Goddess Noonday. And she has all this red on. Notice that could be speaking to someone that needs some root chakra alignment, that is concerned with finances or security, financial security. Someone that could be getting ready to move, thinking about moving home, domestic life, the 4 walls of your home. This could, someone needs like home repair or have to move, but this is something concerning the root chakra, something concerning the foundation of all things, okay? Coming out here with truth. There are some truths. some truths that we don't want to say out loud, some hidden truths about our situation and what's going on that we need to make a connection with. If you can see in this card, she's looking at herself in the water and she's seeing her reflection. This is speaking of this reflective space that we're in, this deep thought that we've been in, you know, over analyzing, we call it, or just psychoanalyzing certain things is so normal right now because we're in this mirror moment. So where we're seeing certain situations are reflecting back at us, or what will we do in those situations and things like that. This is also speaking of living in your truth, whatever that truth is, like whatever type of fear is holding you back from being in your absolute truth. That's what needs to be eradicated. That's what needs to be removed. Anything that promotes fear, cut it off at the head. Cut it off at the, sever the head. Sever the cord of all fear that keeps you bound, all fear that keeps you small, all fear that wants to condense you, all fear that wants to eradicate you and assassinate you. You do it first. Okay, so this is the goddess of truth connected with the country of Benin, if you've heard of Benin and Togo in Africa. The element that's connected to this card is water. This could be speaking to my water signs. It says Nunde, the bold, outspoken wife of Benin, Iwa. Legba was feeling neglected by her husband. Even with several wives, his head was easily turned. So Nunde lived her truth, took her own lover, and became her own best friend. Get real. What is your truth? Truth telling matters. Being able to hear the truth matters just as much. And the embodiment is to tell the truth. Each person has their own version. Speak yours. Words have impact. Remember that we all have triggers. Think before you speak and listen with compassion. Be gentle and stay calm in truth-telling conversations. And the declaration is, the truth is my friend. And that's speaking to fiery situations. Sometimes when you are unhealed from being unheard, we tend to lash out in anger in our vocals, and we get loud, and things could go left, especially coming from a woman. And it's so quick for men to be like, oh, this why I don't want to talk to you, or this why I didn't want to tell you, because we need to, for real. When it comes to rage doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes a lot of my rage is very silent and very powerful. You understand what I'm saying? We don't have to be confrontational and combative and aggressive with everything. Learn to move in silence. Learn to use your inner peace as your power. Do you understand me? Don't let nothing or nobody get you in no space where you got the raise to the top of your lungs. You got to lose your voice, your stomach hurting, you in pain. You got a headache because this thing is just troubling you and bothering you. And you got all this combustion going on inside of you, and they're going on about their business. Learn how to transmute that rage inside in a peaceful space. You understand what I'm saying? So you can seek the clarity that you want to get. You catch more flies with honey than vinegar, than salt. You understand what I'm saying? Frequency is a response, okay? And sometimes the tone of our voice and how we say it, even when we're telling the truth. I'm just telling you the truth. That's just how it is. That's not the response that we want to give. You understand what I'm saying? People will try to take that and flip the truth, because the truth still remains, but the frequency, the delivery definitely matters. Okay, be the principle about things. And that's also you two watching and listening for the truth, because it's in the mirrors, in the pudding, about those situations that you are questioning right now in this moment. It's staring right back at you. Okay? I hope that brought you so much clarity. I hope that brought you so much comfort, knowing what we've spoke about during the first part of the pod to what has just come out for the collective. Okay, that's a quick recap. Please come up with your own interpretations of your reading of these cards and what you see. Please don't hesitate to leave it in the comments, okay? I'm sending everybody so much love, light, wholeness, and clarity. Sending you guys so much love and joy as we prepare for the month of February, the love month, and what that looks like as a collective.